Everybody, let's make a fun card today. I'm going to get inky with some of the Distress Ink reinkers, and this is going to be spun sugar on the left, and then I've got some picked berries, and I'm just taking some acetate and picking that up and just kind of splashing it all over the place. I love how that picked berries just went slung all over. And then I'm going to dry it between the layers so that they don't mix. And then I'm putting some cracked pistachio, ignore the other color, I ended up not using it. And then I'm going to add some gold splatter, and you'll see what I do with this next. I have a nice shimmery background now. And then I've got, next up is Twisted Citron, and then Mowed Lawn, and I'm doing the same thing. This is a new card base, and I just have this taped down to a piece of cardboard so it doesn't warp when I'm drying it and everything. And then this one, I'm kind of going for a cactus kind of feel. So you see me kind of add that shaded lilac, and then that's evergreen bough that gives that warm turquoise kind of color. So this is fun. I love how this kind of ended up. It definitely has that kind of cactusy feel with the purple tips. And that's what I was looking for. And I also put some gold splatter on there. That's that Kuretake watercolor that I always use. Super easy to add some fun flair. And then now I'm going to go in with some squeezed lemonade. And then fossilized amber gives you that kind of orangey yellow. And then twisted citron. And then we're going to splatter that with gold as well. I've got my third panel ready to go. And then for the fourth one, I'm kind of combining all the colors. I've got squeezed lemonade, picked berries, cracked pistachio, the shaded lilac, and then I decided to go for a brighter turquoise instead of that evergreen bough. I picked peacock feathers, so that's why that's a brighter turquoise. And so this one's like a whole Picasso mess of fun, bright colors. And I added that gold on top. So now what are we going to do with all these? I've got this Simply Celebrate Summer that Fuji would like me to start with the cactus piece. So this is how I kind of picked all my themes for the backgrounds, was matching it with each of these stamp sets. And I've had this for so long and I've never used it. Can you believe it? And I had actually put these in my scan and cut and had them all cut out and never colored. And I just found them in my stash and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do this today. And I decided to get a little inky, and then now I'm matching with my OLO markers these different colors that I created in the background, and I decided to have a pop of pink for those flowers. So, and then I have the sentiments. I'm just putting them on little sentiment strips. And I trimmed off the edges because it's a flag and pulled it in a little bit and popped it up on foam tape. And so it gives it that 3D effect for that flag. And then I use that Pear Blossom Press A2 T-square to straighten that out. And then once again, I'm matching with my OLO color wheel. I have all 256 colors now. So I have the full repertoire of colors to choose from. So now we're going in with the pineapple, and so we're going to use that beautiful yellow and orangey and green kind of background for this one. So I'm just trying to mix those same kind of colors in here for these lovely pineapples. And I'm doing that same thing. This one's a shorter sentiment strip, so I didn't do the little flagging pull in. And then there we go, another card down. And then here's that fun, this was watermelon. I don't know if you were thinking that when you were looking at those smooshing colors. And so I'm grabbing these OLO markers, and look how well they match with those colors I picked out. And I love how there's that little bite out of that last one. And this one's another sentiment that I cut a little long, so I trimmed it off and put the pop-up with that flagging. And here is our last card. And so I thought it'd be fun to do a multicolored flip-flop. So that's why I did a combination of all the colors. So I'm going to do an ombre effect with all these colors, alternating each one on the flip-flops. And love how this one is turning out. And having the foam tape behind these, kind of popping them up, lets that stand out a little bit. So I hope you like these 4 different cards. They were a lot of fun to make. Hope you can get inky. See you next time. Bye.